When I started my career, there wasn't such a field. Basically, there were only a few textbooks in the area, and we happened to have a big trauma center. So as a second-year resident, I went to my chairman and I said, what do you think will be popular in the future? What do you think is important? And he said, radiation oncology, radiation applications or radio diagnosis or emergency radiology. And since I knew about the trauma center, I thought it was pretty cool. I decided I would give that a try. And it was, like I said, it wasn't really a field yet, but I created a fellowship all different places in the country and got some information and came back and started that job in about 1985. And fortunately for me, it did become a field and a specialty, and it's been a lot of fun. A lot of work, but a lot of fun too. The last book we wrote was a book on imaging and trauma and critical care. And that was the second edition of that book that we worked with Elsevier on. And the purpose of that book was more textbook, to really give a lot of detail about the history of certain pathologies, a lot of background on statistics and sensitivity and specificity. So it's really a full textbook, something that you would have to sit down with at night and go through little by little. The concept that we've come up now is, rather than to repeat that book and make just an updated version of that book, is to change the focus into something that you would want to have in the reading room at night when you're going to encounter difficult cases. And we think that's really when these books are most helpful. When you come across a case, you're not sure what's going on, and the purpose of this book is to give you a chance to see typical cases of what these things are, and then to give you a lot of unknowns that are challenging, difficult, subtle, what else you would look for to try to hone you down to a diagnosis, things you could mistake a particular entity for, really, at the view box, if you will, at the workstation kind of material. A couple of things about Elsevier that I've really liked. First of all, I've been able to establish really nice personal relationships with the people I've worked with. They are looking at these things beyond the project. They really want to do the right thing. They have a concept in mind. They're willing to modify that concept to collaborate in a way that you're getting what you want to put in the book, and they're also allowed to sort of drive that in a direction they think the customer is interested in. So that we find, I find, and other co-authors and editors have found it's a smooth process working with them. Because they're generally people that we can work with, and they're nice, and they will listen to what we say and modify things appropriately. I love their distribution capabilities, and they've shown us that they can really move the product along in foreign countries. When I'm traveling, I always see the books represented, which makes me feel good because I can tell the audience, hey, go out and see our book. I get a quarter for each one you buy, because that's the business, and we all know that. But it's nice to have them see the author and be able to buy the book, maybe sign a few, and that's, for us, I think it's interacting with the ED and the trauma people. I mean, those are our primary customers. At night, they want the correct answer. It's not going to be, well, next day we'll have the subspecialist look at it. They're not interested in that kind of feedback. So getting the information quickly, and this is a hardware and a software issue, getting the information quickly, being able to look at it right away and at least give a preliminary interpretation drives their care. So the whole efficiency process is really key. Building software and hardware engines with our vendors to make that happen more quickly is certainly one of our goals, and we're always being hammered to have the report before the patient's off the table, and that will continue. But you want to give the right information, so having people comfortable with, familiar with a large spectrum of pathology, somehow making them subspecialists in a lot of areas, and it's not an easy thing to do. So an educational goal is to try to figure out a way to make that happen, because that's what you have to do at night, and you can't call up this subsection guy because he's probably not going to be too interested in coming in and looking at a case.